Given the high elves' emphasis on a staunch line of spears, I figured the Ogre Kingdoms would have a relatively tough matchup against them, and I definitely have found that to be the case. I mean, obviously, you definitely can win with the Ogres. Today, I'm going to try and do just that versus my patron, Ryder Rohan. We were kind of workshopping this matchup a little bit, trying to figure out what would actually be the most threatening thing that the Ogres could bring. We'll start with his high elf build. He's got Tyrion leading the way. Nice and mobile, very fast, hard-hitting, no direct anti-large bonus, but just generally a stellar duelist. Relatively low HP, below 5,000, but still very good. We've got 4 bolt throwers as well, 4 Silverin guards up front, 2 Phoenix guard, and another Silverin in the back line, and just a single archer. So, I kind of get this pick to a degree. I mean, Spearman's low armor does mean that they will take damage from Ogre Bulls, especially, like, Bulls and Noblars stacked together, I think will probably beat High Elf Spearman if they get a good engagement. Hard to say. But the Silverin Guard's extra armor, magic resistance, helps them in that way. Also, for any, AoE damage spells from Lore of Fire, Lore of the Great Maw. Of course, Bolt Thrower is a great anti-large AP. They're going to be teeing off immediately on my Iron Blaster, which has already taken significant damage. A couple of Bulls with a Iron Fist Bull in the back. 5 Noblars in a nice kind of crescent formation here. And then 4 Saber Tusks, 2 on each flank. Slaughtermaster leading the way. And then we've got 2 Hunters on Stonehorns as kind of the main damage power piece here. Or pieces, rather. Let's get things underway now. And I will preface this by saying this is maybe the 3rd or 4th time we played this matchup. And, I mean, of course, High Elves could do some other things here besides just this build. Certainly they have enough variety, especially with, like, dragons and stuff that they could. But just look at the damage the Stonehorn does. Running through the front of the Silverin Guard there, absolutely insane. Just breaking this formation initially straight through, straight into the Phoenix Guard. They are going to be taking significant damage from the Phoenix Guard, but of course I can heal the Stonehorns back up. We get the Saber Tusks in just to guarantee we get on those Bolt Thrower crews. In the times that we played this before, the Bolt Throwers punished me super hard, and I actually had, instead of the 2 Stonehorns, I had 1 Stonehorn and 1 unit of Crushers, just to try and counter High Elf Cavalry, potentially. But Ryder Rohan didn't take any, which actually does make sense. I don't know if the High Elf Cavalry does a lot for you here. You may see the Rogue Dragon Prince occasionally, but a Tyrion dueling the 1 Hunter is definitely going to be painful. I'd pop a Troll Guts, though. Pop that Bull Gorger up to 68 melee attack, 565 weapon strength. We're going to now go 2v1 on Tyrion with the 2 Stonehorns, and also get the Slaughtermaster moving in as well. And that should be enough damage to deal with Tyrion. I mean, of course, his defense is super high, but with the charge bonus and with that melee attack weapon strength buff of Bullgorger, we were able to do a significant amount of burst damage in a very short amount of time. Meanwhile, taking stock of the rest of the battle, we've got Saber Tusks again getting into the archers here. They have taken significant damage, been routed off. My Iron Blaster actually got routed off before I was able to shut down all the Bolt Throwers, so a little bit painful there. But at the same time, we managed to do a crazy amount of damage to Tyrion, and a lot of the Silverin Guards are also just trading relatively even, I guess, against the Bulls and the Noblars. They are actually exactly the same cost, the basic Bulls and the Noblars, so it's an interesting engagement. Normally, the Silverin Guards would win, like, without anything getting involved, but yeah, I'm going to pull this Hunter back and just use the ranged attack. These anti-large jabs aren't going to be great shooting into infantry, but they will do a little bit. The Iron Blaster also gets online momentarily in the distance. Tyrion gets terrified away, just getting wrecked by the Stonehorn, but there's still so many Phoenix Guard left here. Definitely going to be tough to take them out. And again, the Iron Blaster firing in directly to the Phoenix Guard is going to be the priority target at this point. And we'll just keep the Stonehorn Hunters hunting Tyrion and just generally causing havoc around and trying to avoid just standing on top of the Phoenix Guard as much as possible. Maybe even do a little bit of kiting in the later part of the game. I mean, 66 speed on these Hunters means they can certainly kite out some High Elf infantry, as long as I'm able to shut down the Bolt Throwers and other threats. We've got 1 Bolt Thrower shattered here. This other one is also routed. So I think we should be able to clean up. The Saber Tusks definitely doing a great job chasing some routing units. Just adding some additional mobile pressure. Tyrion, of course, gets his Heart of Avalorn. It's guaranteed to proc now. Comes back from Terror Routing and is able to dish out some more damage here. Stand firm with his Phoenix Guard. Push back my Ogres. Obviously not going to want to take this engagement, so I'll utilize my mobility. Maneuver away. Tyrion obviously can chase and catch my units, but he's going to have to leave his infantry support to do so. We've also got the Bolthrower crew potentially coming back from route. Saber-Tusk pack looks like maybe going to go hunt those archers. Not really sure. I'm not really also not really sure what's causing those frame hitches, so I apologize about that. But there you go. Nice Earthblood from the Lifecaster there. Keep those Phoenix Guard topped up as much as possible. Definitely going to be super necessary in the late game. I mean, despite all my pressing, I've taken a significant amount of damage, and I'm down on the balance of power. Although we have thinned out the High Elf army pretty considerably as well. Tyrion comes back to protect these bedraggled archers. And should be able to rout off the Saber-Tusks. We've got another one coming through, though, to continue the pressure, keep Tyrion away, and then with this main force here, they come back, break my Noblars and Bulls, but at the same time, Rider Rohan's blobbing up pretty significantly here with this huge mass of infantry. I mean, obviously, that's one reason why, right? To get a nice Earthblood. I also popped a Dismember when I saw this big blob forming, so that even if he wanted to try and fix his mistake and reposition, it would take him a long time to do so. This whole time, too, the Iron Blaster's been firing, since it's a single entity artillery. It, of course, fires at full strength, despite having lost quite a bit of HP. I don't think wounds even affects... Yeah, wounds doesn't even affect missile damage, so missile single entities in particular, when they're low health, still fighting at full power with their ranged attacks. And then we can use these two Stonehorns to just kind of run cycle charges, run some hit-and-run attacks, charge in, pull out, rinse and repeat, all while the Iron Blaster is firing in. And since the Equal Claw Bolt Throwers are now guaranteed shutdown, got the last clutch Saber-Tusk pack to eliminate them. Now moving in on the archers. It should be good to go. We've got some more tattered Silver Guard coming back as well. Rider Rohan getting a little bit separated Tyrion away from the Phoenix Guard, but he's going back, of course, to hunt the Iron Blaster, understanding that that is going to be the biggest threat to him at this point. If he can shut it down, I mean, the Phoenix Guard will still have to contend with these two hunting Stonehorns. Another one getting healed, of course. And the longer game goes on, the longer I am going to be able to heal. You can see not too much magic available for me right now, but quite a bit of reserves left. At least like 2 more Troll Guts. Yeah, at least 2 more Troll Guts. And maybe a Bull Gorger. Let's see if I can math. Usually when I try and math on video, I end up failing horribly. No, actually, yeah, there it is. Yeah, I actually just popped a Bull Gorger there, I believe, on the Hunter. As it countercharges Tyrion, Iron Blaster was able to pull away there, pull some point-blank shots on those Phoenix Guard and the Silverin Guard. Or Elistor color scheme looking absolutely spectacular here in the sunset. Tyrion facing off against the massive Stonehorn. And Rider Rohan had commented that it feels a lot like fighting Norska in some ways, like double Mammoth builds for the High Elves, which definitely I can see the similarities. I mean, Mammoths have a lot more base HP. I mean, I think they have like 2,000 more base HP. I want to say, yeah, I guess on Ultra unit size in Warhammer 3, probably 2,000 to 3,000 more HP base. But of course, you have the healing for the Stonehorns, which gives them a higher overall HP if you do manage to heal cap them. They also have ranged attacks, I guess. I mean, some of the Mammoths do have ranged attacks as well, so it's interesting. But there's a few key differences, of course. The main one is the Ogres have artillery, and Norska does not have any artillery. Not only does Ogres have artillery, but they have some of the best artillery chariots in the game, with the Scrap Launcher and the Iron Blaster both being very useful at different things and very threatening targets. So you do have to play it a little bit differently from Norska, you know, taking Bolt Throwers to account for these. But, yeah, last blob forming. Winds of Magic-wise, Rider Rohan still got a decent amount left. He could potentially continue to just heal, sustain the Silverin Guard with Earthbloods. Yeah, looks like he's actually going to throw a Dwellers Below, which might seem counterintuitive. It is going to do a little bit of damage to these Phoenix Guard, but it will actually do a pretty considerable amount of damage as well to the Hunter Stonehorns. But will it be enough at the end of the day? Looks like the balance of power is starting to turn against me after Tyrion took a few more big hits there, 2v1 on the Stonehorns. Got routed off, isolating and collapsing this last Silverin Guard, and then I think the Iron Blaster is gone. Yeah, unfortunately, took a few more hits there when I wasn't paying attention and did get routed off. So there you go. Stonehorns, though, are able to clean it up, seeing as Rider Rohan will tell you with a look of great pain. Phoenix Guards are not immune to psychology, and as a result, they get routed away by the Stonehorns. Tyrion comes back very briefly, only to get very killed here. Might even die to a javelin. Let's see. Maybe. Nope. Looks like they're going to turn and instead focus on the Phoenix Guard forming up. Noblars forming a last anvil. I'm surprised these Noblars hung around until this point in the battle. Very impressive, honestly. There you go. And army losses. So, great game to ride at Rohan. Like I said, we played this probably 3 or 4 times, and he beat me every time, except this one. And arguably might have made a few mistakes there, but overall, I do think the double Stonehorn is a really good way to go against not only High Elves, but in general, a lot of missile-based factions. The fact that they have heavy missile resistance, very potent in melee, especially with lore of the Great Mob buffing and healing them. Got a little ranged attack that can be mildly useful as well, and just generally are a great unit for disrupting, attacking, and tanking, all of which you're going to need to do if you want to break a staunch line of spears like this. The Bulls actually perform okay. Iron Fist not so much in the center. They had a little bit of a tougher time, but Noblars also trade fairly cost-effectively at the end of the day. I love Saber Tusks too for the cheap cost. These guys are really nice, fast attack mobile units. No Vanguard in multiplayer, but they all get some really good value back as well. And then, of course, huge value on the Stonehorns, 2225, 3750 between the two of them, over, yeah, 20,000, like 26,000 total damage dealt between the two. Iron Blaster also comes back in the sort of second half of the game and gets some damage. It initially just got focused by the bolt throwers, which is what happened in pretty much every game before this. And then, you know, instead of the two Stonehorns carrying there in the end game, like they did in this, it was just the one Stonehorn who wasn't quite able to get it done. And then Crushers, in my experience, just take, even the RORs, they take a lot of damage from Phoenix Guard, and if they spend any time sitting on top of them, if they get caught up, or for whatever reason can't escape, they get deleted. They also take a lot of damage from Dwellers, so I think it's just better overall to have the Hunter Stonehorn. Maybe there's a use case for Crushers in this matchup, and I think once in a while, especially if you think your opponent, for whatever reason, might take like a dragon, especially Imrik on a dragon. 2v1 would probably still lose to the Stonehorns, but it's going to be pretty brutal. And, you know, if you take a little bit of backup with him as well, you could maybe just overpower in melee. So it definitely needs some more looks, maybe with some different high elf builds to see how this double Stonehorn Hunter works. But seems promising. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.